unless you're going to live on a deserted island somewhere, or hole up in a cave somewhere in the wooded mountains, you're going to have to interact with other people. And that means communicating with them. It only makes sense that if we improve our communication skills, we will have better relationships, less conflict, and more success in our life. I'd like to share 4 keys of communication. They're not the only keys, but they're 4 I remember Jim Rohn speaking about years ago, and I thought I'd share them with you today with my own little twist. And the first is have something good to say. Just because you can say something doesn't mean you should say something. We want our communications to be meaningful. We want them to mean something, not just an exercise in listening to our own voice. How do we do this? We stop and we think once in a while. We think about what's important in life, and we think about what we're going to say before we say it. We also try to experience all life has to offer. We are always learning. We're always improving through study, through making mistakes. It's the experiences and the learning that provide the knowledge bank that we can withdraw from when communicating with others. That's how we have something good to say. Next, say it well. We always want to communicate effectively. So we read, we develop our vocabulary, so we have the words to express our emotions, our thoughts, our ideas appropriately, passionately with those that we share them with. We practice. That's why Toastmasters International is such an awesome, exciting organization. It provides the opportunity to practice these important skills. We refrain from using the language and gestures that will take away from our message. And we ensure that our words, our tone, and our body language are congruent with the message we want our audience to receive. The third thing, we learn to read an audience. Regardless if it's one person or 10,000, we want them to understand our message. It's our job to communicate, to be understood. If they're not understanding, we need to change our approach. We know we don't talk to children the same way we talk to adults. We can't talk to a room of doctors and lawyers the same way we talk to a room full of plumbers. The doctors and lawyers just won't understand. We have to match our message with the audience. We do that by understanding who our audience is and paying attention to the feedback they provide. The fourth and last thing, intensity. We have to discover the power of emotions. We've all been in the auditorium where the person up front had the personality of Ben Stein in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Bueller, Bueller. My next point is, all we remember is how boring and awful it was. We don't communicate that way because we're going to infuse our communication with emotion. The power of emotion makes your communications more impactful, more meaningful, and more memorable. Just 4 little things, 4 little keys. Having something good to say, saying it well, reading your audience, and using intensity, emotion with your communicating. I guarantee you, if you incorporate these into your speaking, into your communicating, you will be a better communicator. You'll have deeper relationships, less conflict, and more success in your life. Because that is the power of communication.